My name is Curtis Dickson, and you're listening to Pro Lacrosse Talk.
On Schreiber. Sidearm whip. Scores. Now in front. Fidel scores. Hands off for Rabel. Switches hands and scores.
Kylie O'Miller showing off those shifty skills.
Right off the bat, there's Lyle Thompson.
Curtis Dickson to the net, shoots and scores. Curtis Dickson with a beauty.
Welcome to Pro Lacrosse Talk, the voice of Pro Lacrosse. I'm Hutton, he's Adam. Together we're bringing you interviews with your favorite players and coaches, as well as news from all 4 professional lacrosse leagues.
We're here with Curtis Dickson, forward with the Calgary Roughnecks and 2019 NLL Champion. Curtis, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Appreciate it, Curtis. Thanks for joining us. We'll start off with you growing up in Port Coquitlam. Just discuss when you first started playing lacrosse and what time did you realize that you really wanted to play at the highest level?
Yeah, I started playing pretty young. My dad grew up playing. He plays his whole life, so he pretty much got a stick in my hands, right from when I was born. And I think I got put into organized lacrosse when I was probably around 3 or 4 years old, and I've been playing ever since.
That's awesome. And then, you decided to take your talents to the University of Delaware, where you were part of a fantastic 2007 Final Four run. You had 7 goals and 1 assist in that year's NCAA tournament. Talk us about that playoff run with the Blue Hens.
That was special. That was a lot of fun. Not a lot of people really gave us much chance, especially going into that first round game against the defending champs, Virginia. And we knew what we had. We knew we had a lot of talent, and we kind of underachieved throughout the regular season. But all you got to do is make the tournament, and then anything can happen. So we were just playing, really good lacrosse at the right time of year. So it was a lot of fun to be a part of.
That's great. And then you're going off of that, you ended your college career as the 4th leading scorer and all-time Delaware leader in goals with 62 goals and 15 assists in your senior season. That made you a Tewaaraton finalist, and you were also a captain of the team. How do you think your college career really prepared you to make the jump to the pros?
Most definitely having a guy, like Shills, who was there, 30-plus years by the time I was there, and continued on for another, almost 10 after I left. Anytime you have a chance to play under a guy like that, he's obviously got a plethora of knowledge, and you just try and, soak anything in that a guy like that has to tell you. He's been around the game for so long. He knows, all the ins and outs. So having a guy like that as a mentor and a coach definitely helps prepare you for, life after college, on the field and off the field as well.
No, that's awesome. And you're a Delaware Hall of Fame member, I believe. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, and so you went in with, I'm a Ravens fan, so you went in with Joe Flacco, I think. Did you know Joe Flacco when you were there? I think you were a freshman when he was a senior, but did you ever cross paths with him?
No, I was there 2 years, I believe, with Joe. He was
2 years, okay.
Would have been maybe my sophomore, junior year or something like that. But
gotcha.
No, I never had a chance to meet him during school, but I obviously had a chance to talk to him, when we got inducted. And super nice guy, super humble, big family guy. He had his whole family out there. So that was a pretty special moment for me, and I'm sure it was for him as well.
That's awesome. So back to lacrosse, I guess, a bit. So you played in the major series lacrosse with the Peterborough Lakers. You won a Man Cup with them in 2017. Now you're with the Maple Ridge Burrards again in the Western Lacrosse Association. How's it been playing in those 2 different leagues, and is there a difference in style between the MSL and WLA?
For the most part, no. I think it's fairly similar. It's all, pro caliber guys that are kind of just playing and keeping a stick in their hands in the off season. So that's really what it's all about, just staying in shape and keeping things sharp. But you can tell by the result of the Man Cups over the years that there's probably a little bit more talent out east. But as far as everything else goes, the leagues are fairly similar.
Now let's talk about your NLL career a little bit. You took the NLL by storm in 2011. You won the NLL Rookie of the Year. You helped your team win the West Division title before falling in the semifinals. You ended up getting to the championship, I believe, in 2014. Unfortunately, didn't win it then. But talk us through your rookie season and those early years. Like, who were some of those mentors that helped you in your early years in the NLL?
Yeah, I was fortunate. I got drafted to a really good Calgary team, and a lot of talent, especially on the offensive side of the floor. And anytime you have a chance to play with legends like Caleb Toast and Calgary legend in his own, who had been there for 10 plus years by the time I got there. This guy like Scott Ranger, another guy on the right side there I got to play with, and obviously Shane Dolby, guy I'm still playing with till this day, and Jeff Shatler, among other guys. It was an easy transition with guys like that, playing around you. They were all so good at what they did, and really took me under their wing and kind of showed me the way, because it is a big step from, the junior and the college ranks playing in the NLL. So I was fortunate to have guys like that around me and kind of showing me the ropes.
No, that's great. And you earned the nickname Superman for your acrobatic goals. You're always leaving your feet, it seems like, and putting on a show in that regard. Talk us through the origins of that nickname, and have you always played a high-flying style of lacrosse, or did you kind of develop that over time?
I don't know to that extent, because obviously any league that I'd played in, diving through the crease was never a legal move. College, back in my day, it was still against the rules, and even in box lacrosse growing up in minor and junior, you weren't allowed to do that. So I think I just kind of thrived and took advantage of that rule once I got there, and enjoyed doing it. And it was one of our announcers, and I think it was in the first year in the league. He kind of coined the nickname after I had a bunch of diving through the crease goals, and it's just kind of stuck since then.
What are your thoughts on the name Superman? Do you people call you that all the time, I guess, but do you enjoy it, or do you kind of just take it in stride?
Yeah, you take it in stride, but at the same time, I can't complain. It's not the worst nickname in the world.
No, yeah, for sure.
It's one of the coolest superheroes in the world. So as long as everybody knows it's not self-proclaimed, I'm okay with getting called every once in a while.
Well, that's awesome. And you had your super moment last year, winning the Champions Cup with Calgary. Let's talk about that magical playoff run a little bit. You came into the season a little bit late, but you guys kind of, got on a late season run. Talk me through that run and kind of how you guys bought in, made that playoff run and ended in a championship. Yeah,
like we talked about earlier with, our Final Four run at Delaware, it was pretty similar in regards to, just getting hot at the right time. We got some key pieces back late in the season with a guy like Jesse King. He was hurt most of the year, and we got him back with, I think, 3 or 4 games left in the regular season, and we just gelled as a team, and it was pretty special to see what we were able to accomplish in such a short amount of time. Winning our last, I think it was 3 games of the regular season, and obviously 4 straight in the playoffs. So with the caliber of teams that we were playing against, we were pretty fortunate to be able to do that, and it was a bit of a monkey off my back, getting able to win that first championship. Like you said earlier, in 2014, we fell a little short in Rochester in heartbreaking fashion. So I had been kind of stewing on that for 5 years. So it was pretty special getting to do that.
That's awesome. And what was going through your head when Reese Dutch scored that overtime goal in Game 2?
I couldn't tell you. I think I might have blacked out. Honestly, it was a wild scene. Anyone that's been to a game in the Saddle Dome knows how crazy it is on a regular night. So it's basically a sold out crowd that night with an overtime championship game winning goal. It was bananas, to say the least. It was awesome. Yeah, no, that's great. And you guys are in the middle of the pack right now in the West Division. It's wide open this season. I think more than ever you've seen a lot of parity in the league. You've had some, close losses and some brutal injuries to some key guys, but you guys are no strangers, again, like I said, to second half surges. What has been the message, from Coach Milosky in the locker room, and what has he been preaching to you guys? Yeah, obviously we're not, terribly thrilled with our start. There's a lot of games that were winnable that we kind of left on the table and came away with losses instead. And, those ones are the ones that can come back and bite you in the butt later on in the season. But at the same time, our philosophy, you can't really dwell on the past. You got to look at what's next and what's in the future. And 2-4 is not where we want to be, but at the same time, there's nothing we can do about that now. So again, like last year, we'll be having guys kind of trickle back in the lineup, key pieces, as the season goes on. So we have that to look forward to. But at the same time, we're not looking to make excuses. There's plenty of pro caliber guys that are in the lineup right now that are filling shoes that we feel are capable of getting the job done, and we just need to do a better job and come out and prepare and be able to win these games that are important for playoff seeding. No, definitely. Now let's kind of shift gears a little bit then to the field game. You're in the PLL. You're currently on the Chaos, but you are unprotected. You weren't able to suit up last summer, I think, due to an injury that kind of kept you sidelined during that summer season. But regardless of what team you're on come May, are you looking to suit up in the PLL this summer? And what do you think you can kind of bring to the PLL that maybe we didn't see this past year? Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely planning on playing. I was unfortunately got a wrist injury in our championship game 2 there in Calgary, so I was unable to get in any games with the Chaos last summer. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. Doesn't matter, like you said, wherever I end up, if I do get picked up or if I end up back with the Chaos, and I'm looking to just kind of plug in and contribute wherever they need me. I'm, especially if I do. And if I get picked up by the Water Dogs, it's a fresh team, and I consider myself a veteran guy, so it'll be good to bring some veteran leadership and hopefully some goal scoring ability. And if I end up back on the Chaos, you obviously have a fantastic roster as it is already, and anywhere Coach Tower sees fit, I'd put myself in that lineup and contribute whatever way they need me to. So it's exciting to think about having an opportunity to play in that league and to kind of watch from the outside last year and see what they're able to do, just exposure-wise and how big it's come, how big it's gotten, and just it's exciting, and I'm definitely looking forward to having an opportunity to play.
Yeah, no, for sure, and we're looking forward, to seeing you out there. And I guess touch on a little bit too. What kind of convinced you to join the PLL? You hadn't played field in a little while, and I think it was a little bit of, I don't want to speak for you, but dissatisfaction with the previous league. So what excites you, I guess, the most going forward with the PLL?
Yeah, I remember I had a chat with Paul when he was about to kind of bring it to fruition, and he showed interest in having me in the league, and I thought it was fantastic. I heard the direction they were looking at going and their plans, and I've always wanted to play field. It's just kind of timing wise with summer lacrosse and travel wise with teams, all the teams in the MLL are all East Coast based, and that's a bit of a pain in the butt for me being from the West Coast. But this model is awesome, and heading to different locations every weekend is pretty cool, and that was definitely exciting and a big factor for me. I wanted to be a part of it, so as soon as Paul kind of reached out and showed interest, it was kind of a no-brainer for me.
That's great. I'm hoping they announce maybe a really West Coast location. Maybe it's Vancouver or anywhere in British Columbia, or at least a Seattle or something. They haven't really gone that far northwest, so it'd be nice if they have that on the schedule. We won't know right away, but that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, they've hinted that, I think they said something about Pacific Northwest, so whether it's Portland, Seattle, or Vancouver, I'm assuming it'll be in one of those 3 general areas, so that'd be pretty neat to have it up in this area.
For sure. And then, one final question before we go into our 5-and-5. You recently won a World Indoor Lacrosse Championship with Team Canada. You've also won, I believe, 3 gold medals as well. So you've been a participant in both outdoor and indoor for, your country. Describe that feeling, wearing Canada across your chest, the pride you have in representing your country when you play in these World Games.
Yeah, you said it. It's pride, and anytime anyone will tell you have a chance to represent your country and wear wear that a flag on your chest is pretty special, and something I'll never take for granted. I've been, like you said, fortunate to play in 4 World Championships now, 2 indoor and 2 outdoor, and they've each and every one's been special. And I'm getting up there in age, but hopefully a few years down the line here, when the field one comes back around, I'll still have enough juice left in the tank to keep participating. But if not, like you said, I've had a pretty good run and won 3 gold medals and a silver, so it's those always a lot of fun to play in for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think he's still got some left in the tank if your current NLL season is any indication. But that wraps up our main questions. We'll take a quick break, hear a word from our sponsor, and then we'll dive into our 5-and-5 segment. Hey everyone, thank you for listening to another episode of the Pro Lacrosse Talk podcast. We've been using Anchor for our podcast since the very start. Anchor gives you everything you need in one place, and better yet, it's free. They allow you to easily record and edit your podcast so it sounds great, and send it out to all the major networks such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and many more. Better yet, they connect you with advertisers so you can start making money from your podcast right away. So if you're interested in starting a podcast, download the Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. Today's show is being brought to you in part by Stitcher Premium. You can use Stitcher Premium to listen to shows ad-free such as Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend,
My Favorite Murder, Wolverine the Lost Trail, or our favorite, The Fantasy Footballers. For only $4.99 a month or $34.99 a year, you get access to Stitcher Originals, bonus episodes, and comedy albums. Better yet, if you go over to Stitcher.com/premium and use the promo code lacrosse today, you can get 1 month free. So head on over to Stitcher, sign up, and get your free trial today.
All right, so welcome back. Now it's time to dive into our 5 and 5. So I'll start off with the lacrosse questions, Curtis. My first one I always ask people is, do you have any pregame superstitions or routines?
Nothing major. I'll tape my stick before a game as long as I get my pregame nap in. Nothing too crazy.
Pregame nap's crucial.
Crucial, very crucial.
Going off of that, you mentioned your stick. What is your current lacrosse stick setup?
I'm using Warrior. I'm using a Warp right now.
I know a lot of people are going to that, and both the women's and the men's game, and it seems to be. I've never actually used a Warp before. That kind of came out, I think, after my college career was over. But it seems like a lot of people are going to that, and really the consistency is there, and I think that was the goal with the stick, right?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for sure. And I have no idea how to swing a lacrosse stick, so
that helps too.
Big reasoning for me.
My next question is, who was your favorite lacrosse player growing up?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm going to be cliche and say my dad.
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
He's the biggest reason I got playing, and I never had a chance to see him play. He quit playing before I was born, but he was always down in my basement and down at the box, outdoor boxes that we have in here in Canada, playing catch and keeping a stick in my hands and helping me improve my game. So I gotta stick with him and say he's my favorite player.
Awesome. My next one is, if you could start an expansion franchise in any city for the NLL, which one would it be?
Ooh, any city in the NLL expansion franchise. Well, I was just down in Vegas. I was coaching at the U.S. Boxer tournament with one of our kids' teams, and I got a chance to check out that Seals Mammoth game. And Vegas is a pretty cool city, so that's got to be pretty high on the list for me. It'll be a lot of fun to have a team up there.
Yeah, no, the crowd looked great. And I think they'd maybe get some of that like Vegas Golden Knights advantage a little bit. With being in Vegas, people tend to do poorer when they have to go to Vegas, so that might be a good home field advantage for a lacrosse team. So yeah, I think that's a natural spot. I'd be shocked if we don't see Vegas end up with a team in the next 3 years, because Nick Sakevich did say that they're hoping to add 3 more teams within the 3 years. But yeah, we'll see. And then my final one with the 5 and 5 is, what has been your favorite venue to play lacrosse at?
Favorite venue to play lacrosse at? Well, the Final Four we played at M&T Bank in Baltimore. That was pretty cool. It was 52,000 people. I think it still holds the record for highest attended Final Four. So in terms of atmosphere and crowd size, I'd say that was probably the epitome of my lacrosse career.
Awesome. Now for the off the field questions, or off the floor questions, I should say. Who's your favorite non-lacrosse athlete to watch?
Favorite non-lacrosse athlete? I got to go Connor McDavid. I'm an Oilers fan. Any hockey fan out there knows how electric he is on the ice, and he's must-watch TV in the hockey world. So he's pretty special to watch. Yeah, no, for sure. Christian Delbianco, actually, that was his, and I think Randy Stotts also said McDavid was one of his favorite. I mean, he's just electric, and for me, it's always funny too. I look at these hockey guys, and I'm 25 years old, but you think like McDavid's been around for quite some time now, and he's still, I think, only like 23, 24. It's crazy, how young these guys start. I know, these kids are coming straight out of high school and playing NHL. Yeah, and you're seeing it now kind of in the NLL a little bit too. I mentioned Christian Delbianco. He's a young guy excelling at the pro game. But yeah, no, it's awesome to see. Going off of that, what are some hobbies or activities you enjoy doing when not playing lacrosse? Ooh, I'm a golfer. I like to golf. I'd like to do it more than I do now. I mean, living here in Vancouver, it unfortunately rains about 10 months out of the year, so it's tough to kind of get out there sometimes. But definitely golf, video games, working out, just anything that can take up my spare time here is usually what I do. Yeah, no, that's awesome. What video games are you playing these days? I'm a Call of Duty guy. Call of Duty is a good one. And, Apex, any of those Battle Royale games are usually a good time for me too. So awesome. Number 3, what is your favorite place to go when in Calgary? Favorite place to go in Calgary? Oh, that's a good one.
Be like a restaurant or just anything really. Nightlife.
Nightlife. National Intent's a good spot. They got the underground bowling alley, and it's good bar upstairs as well. It's usually we'll head over there after games sometimes. We used to be Cowboys, which is right across the street from the arena, but I'm 31 now, and everybody in there is basically 18 or 19 years old, so it just makes me feel old as dirt, so I try and avoid that now.
Number 4, what is your favorite meal, and do you prefer to dine out, take out, or cook at home?
Ooh, well, my girlfriend actually cooks. She's a fantastic cook, so her cooking is number 1. But favorite meal, I got to go prime rib from the keg. It's a steakhouse. Delicious. It's my if I ever had a last meal, that's always my choice. So I got to go with that.
All right, awesome. And then my final one for the 5 and 5 is what's a book on your bookshelf that you've read or are reading right now, or a podcast that you're listening to that you'd recommend to a teammate or a friend?
Oh man, book that I'm not a huge reader, but I just did recently read Wayne Gretzky's autobiography actually, and that was awesome. It was a pretty good read. It was any Canadian I'm sure has probably read it. I'm pretty sure it's a requirement in high school here, so that was good. That was an interesting one. It was cool.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. The bonus question: do you think Ovechkin can break the Great One's record?
You know what? If he can keep it going, he's knock on wood. He's had really good past with injuries. He's been injury free most of his career, and if he can keep up this pace, I don't see why not. The guy's an absolute animal. He loves scoring goals. I love watching that guy play too. He's excited, just as excited for his first goal in the NHL as he has been with his 600 and whatever he's at now, and he's a lot of fun to watch. So if I had to bet, I'd say yes, he will.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a Capitals fan, so I had to throw that one in there. But he's excellent to watch, and I think like you hit the nail on the head. Like he gets excited about every goal that he scores. It's the same energy or whatever. So he's a lot of fun to watch.
He's a beauty.
Yep, for sure. Then my final question that I always ask our guests, just to wrap up, is what is some advice that you have for a young player looking to one day play lacrosse professionally? You know what?
It's the cliche answer, but just keep a stick in your hands as much as possible. Obviously, don't burn yourself out. And I'm a big believer in multi-sport athletes. I grew up playing baseball, soccer, hockey, lacrosse, and but I was fortunate enough. Like I said, I had an unfinished basement growing up and a big concrete wall down there, and I was usually down there for at least an hour or two a night, just working on my stick skills. And I think that's the biggest thing that separates the top of the upper echelon of players compared to the middle tier is stick skills. And that's the beautiful thing about lacrosse is you don't need a second person to play with. You just got to go find a wall or a box or whatever you can to just hammer the ball against for however long, even if it's 20 minutes a day. Just get out there, work on those stick skills, and just keep improving.
I think that's a great point, especially because you can't really affect how big or strong you are. Well, you can work out and stuff, but you can't really affect like your natural genes that you've been given. But you can work on your stick skills, and everyone can do that. So I think that's some good advice for our young listeners. Well, this has been great, Curtis. We really appreciate it.
Hey man, no worries.
Where can people find you on social media if they want to reach out or connect or just follow you?
My Twitter and my Instagram are both Curtis Dickson 17, one word. So definitely hit me up, ask me questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question. I tell that to all the kids I coach all the time. So I'd love to, if anyone has anything to ask me or tell me, go nuts.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate it, Curtis. Thanks for joining us. Best of luck again with the Roughnecks this season and in the PLL.
Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Today's show is being brought to you in part by Stitcher Premium. You can use Stitcher Premium to listen to shows ad-free such as Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, My Favorite Murder, Wolverine the Lost Trail, or our favorite, The Fantasy Footballers. For only $4.99 a month or $34.99 a year, you get access to Stitcher Originals, bonus episodes, and comedy albums. Better yet, if you go over to Stitcher.com/premium and use the promo code lacrosse today, you can get 1 month free. So head on over to Stitcher, sign up, and get your free trial today.